Okay, doing some maintenance on a S-Bahn Class 111 electric locomotive. First thing I like to do is check the slider. Looks good, not too much wear. Tires look good, nothing broken, nothing missing. Not too much oil in them. Looks like one's kind of loose here. Can be changed. Two loose. Two of them are loose, so those will get changed. Take the body and move it aside off the workbench so it doesn't get damaged. All the bits go in a little can. 760 decoder glued in. Looks like a slightly unprofessional job, but looks like it'll work. Get the wires from behind the little electronics. First thing I got to do is take off the bogie cover because it is in the way. Comes off very easy. Set it aside. Now I got to get the girdle off, which holds the bottom of the motor so it doesn't fall through the frame. Put that in the can. Lift the motor out, clearing all the wires. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take out the brushes. This one doesn't really want to come out. There we go. I can already see there's some oil on the brushes. That's too much oil. Too much oil. I can see oil down here. Basically this thing has oil just runs down. That's why I've started to use grease, and I'll show how I do that in a little bit. Take out the two screws. Pop the cover off. Yeah, look at that. That's nice and dirty. And a little bit oily, not too bad in there. Okay, I will set this aside for now. Take the magnet out. Armature, motor frame. And we'll get some Q-tips with a little bit of alcohol. And I will clean up as much as I can. If this is really dirty, I will go and spray it with plastic safe electrical contact cleaner. But with this Q-tip, I can get most of this. There's not too much oil on the gears. Other side looks pretty clean. Not too bad in there. Armature. The commutator of the armature, I can see right now it's clogged, and that's what happens on these 5-pole motors, is the segments get clogged in between with brush debris. Now, a lot of times there's too much oil, so basically the dust turns to mud. And I'll gently, I'm barely touching the armature with my knife here to clean out these segments. This should just fall right out. No pressure at all on my finger. I don't want to cut anything. I don't want to damage anything. I just want to get the stuff out from in between the segments here. Here we go. That's all 5. Now I'll take my Q-tip. Clean it up. I'll take a fresh, clean Q-tip. Get the rest of it that the dirty one didn't. Here we go. That's pretty well ready to go. Now what I'll do is I'll clean off all of this dust, because that will eventually mix with oil and turn into mud and just make a mess. Just like that. It's pretty clean. Okay. Next, what I'll do is I will grab some tires. I'll change those 2 tires. There's 1. There's 2. And if you can spin the tire with your finger, the rubber's expanded, probably because of oil, and it will not give you traction. It'll just spin. So we will change these 2 tires just in case there's some oil in there. I'll clean that. Take a new tire, pop it on. New tire, pop it on. There we go. Okay. Now for oil, I use very little bit, only where I need it. 1 on the axle of the gear there. Axle of the gear here. The axle of the gear here. Doesn't take much. Work it in a little bit. Okay. Put the magnet back in. And I like to use a little bit of grease here. This is a model grease that I got in Germany. I'm not sure, Gearflon. I'm not sure if you can get it here, but it's a nice sticky grease. Not thick, so it'll stay right where I put it. Put this in till it comes through the hole right there. Set that aside. Back to this. Now this is a mess. Get all this dust out of here. With the dirty one, I'll take a clean one now with a little bit of alcohol. Nice and clean. If I have to, I can take my tip and get inside here where the brushes go. So I don't really want any oil in there. Do the same for the other side. Okay, so now we'll do the reassembly. First, I need a little bit of grease on this side of the armature. Very little bit there. Take the brush plate, carefully put it back in. There we go. Snug the screw down. My other one with the grounding tab on it. Snug that one down. Motor turns. I will take my brushes and a little bit of alcohol just to make sure, because I saw that they were a little bit oily when I took them off. All that oil off of there. The brush springs back on. There we go. Okay, now set the motor truck back in place right there. Take my girdle and put it back on. There we go. Put my bogey cover back on. Tuck my wires back underneath where they will stay out of the way and not get pinched. Everything looks good the way it was. Make sure there's no wires around where the body mounts so you don't pinch a wire. Take the cover, make sure it's on the correct way, slap it back on. And there we go. All serviced.